YouTube, it's Gracie here. This week's video is going to be slightly different. For one, it's just me, there is no Hannah, because we are separate and we're going to be that way for another few weeks. So it's just gonna, this week's video and next week's video is just going to be me, kind of showing you what I've been doing lately, because my placement is about to end. I've been on a 6-month placement at Fundraising Nature Reserve in Uganda, which for those that are maybe out in the world is in like the middle of the UK somewhere. So today the video, I just want to talk about this, not the placement. I'm going to talk about the placement next week. This week is all going to be about my fundraising campaign, which is called Canoe2019. Yes, I am trying to fundraise for Uganda street children. 2 years back, I went and volunteered for Ugandan kids. I went there and I saw quite horrible situations that kids have been kind of forced into, or wittingly went into because they're afraid or ashamed to be in their families, and so they become street children. I saw them sleeping without anything, just on the ground, maybe covered with cardboard, even when it can rain tremendously there. So it's not an environment really anybody wants to sleep out, especially children. And then they don't have food, and then they have cuts and stuff that never get treated and they get infected, and I saw that as well. The thing is, there is a way to help that. I have partnered with Lowry Gambe. I met him that was 2 years back, and then last year we got engaged, and now we are together. He's actually created this school in Masaka, which is kind of like his hometown almost, and so it's a place that was highly affected by HIV, so there's a lot of orphan kids, so there'll be street kids. He also works in Kampala, the main city, with street children as well. And the aim of this school is to provide a institution where we can sponsor street kids, give them a place to stay, give them food, give them clothes, and give them an education which they desperately need. Because you can't, if you have no education whatsoever, you can't go anywhere. I mean, you don't need a degree, but you at least need a primary education, which some of these kids do not have. What they do have is survival skills, and then that's important, but that shouldn't be the main thing that you have in the modern age, where we have phones and that could do so much for us, and money and garages for our cars, and children should not be going without education. That's not even the worst thing. Sometimes they don't go without food and they don't have homes. It's really sad. And so I am trying to help this school, this primary school, give kids that won't otherwise have all this help, and all you have food and clothes and education, and providing it for them. And the school is not complete, though with education going on, because you want though it's not really the safest environment, and in a country like ours we would not allow that, but because there is really no other choice, and otherwise they would just go without, it's better than nothing. But we want to provide something that's just beyond something that they would even think they could have. And so we do want to have the floors that are not sticking out and hurting them when they sit down on it, or actually have proper desks for them to sit down and learn from, and provide teachers, really good teachers, and provide food for them when they need it, and a really good accommodation. At the moment, all the kids are kind of staying in one tiny little room, and it's all dark and there's no power, and it's just heartbreaking. But we can change that, we really can. I mean, last year I walked 300 miles from Plymouth to Blackpool and we managed to raise over £2,000. Give a shout out for all those people that helped you. You guys were amazing. And especially my grandma who donated £500. Oh wow, like that's just insane. I never really thought that would be happening. And then also Gatehouse Blackpool, they donated over £300 for me, and it's amazing. And then there's people that donated like 50 and 100, and those people that just donated a few quid here and there, that all came up to being the £2,000. And the whole experience of walking that many miles was just amazing. People were so supportive, especially my parents, that family that would walk with me and even do my feet. I got a blister so big and so like with full of liquid that I could not walk on it without it getting worse. So what we had to do was to burst it. Yes. And when we burst it kind of went everywhere. It was so disgusting. Almost like a highlight because it was so weird and funny and like I never really thought that would happen. Oh, it's insane. That was the like a little tidbit of the walk that I did, but I can give you a bit more information. I'll put a link down in the descriptions below if you. So on August the 29th of this year, 2019, I am going to be canoeing from Blackpool to Baden-Humber where I work. Which is kind of like why it's related to this kind of placement, because before Walk 300 was from my university to my home. Now we're going from home to work, kind of tying it round, because you know kids have to do that all the time. They have to walk from their schools in really dangerous places for miles and then walk back in the dark, and it's just quite terrible to think that. So I kind of want to relate to that with my challenges. It's not exactly canoeing the whole bit because there is no canal from Blackpool to Preston, so and there's no canal from like around Barton. We're gonna cycle from Blackpool to Preston, then take the Ripple Link and maybe some other ones. We don't quite know the best route, but I think we're just gonna crack on with it and have some awesome time in it. And then we're gonna stop at Scunthorpe and cycle from there to Barton. Go to my website that has all the information you would ever need, and I'll put that in the description below. But you know, because we did £2,000 last year, it would be really awesome if we could do £3,000 this time, and that would just help the school so much. I'll put a link to go straight to donating, because you do have an option to also sponsor a child if you don't want to go for the building but actually want to affect a child specifically. And that's gonna do about $100. We can set up a communication kind of free letters, which the child would so love, just to know that there's someone that would hear them and someone that would listen. I could really use your help to get these £3,000, and in return I can give you like a t-shirt. I created a sponsorship form. But like if you sponsor like 40 quid, I can give you a t-shirt. If you sponsor 50, I can give you a hoodie and all these freebies if you help me. Upcoming in my fundraising journey, I got a radio interview coming up on the 15th of April. I am currently in the process of producing a song, which I wrote after being in Uganda that first year. Kind of about how the children can smile throughout, even with all this hardship, and it's a beautiful sight, and it's they know what true happiness is, because they also know what true darkness is, and it's both heartbreaking and both beautiful at the same time, and I put that in the song. And it's Peter Diamond Studios has kindly offered to produce this song for free. Towards the end of April, I'm going to get it all produced and I'm going to send it out, so hopefully just keep your eyes out for that. For all those people that don't think they can get their songs produced, just go for it. Really, you're going to regret if you feel like it's just not going to happen. Get it produced. Because Peter Diamond's usual rate, I put a link down to his website, his usual rate is only about £70, so it's definitely worth going for. Yeah, so please donate to my campaign. Uganda could really use it, and I tell you, it really will. All the money would go to that, and everything that I have to pay in order to do all this fundraising is coming out of my budget and not out of the fundraising money. It will all go to charity. The whole amount of money that will come from selling that song will go straight to the school. If anybody out there is wanting to kind of, in any schools, if you can send this video to them, we would love to like have a bit of a partnership going on. We could do a bit of education about Uganda, and in return we would have education about the UK and have communications between the children, which would be awesome. So, I know this video wasn't the usual kind of thing that you'd have, but I really needed to kind of like show you what I've been doing lately, and kind of just promote my campaign. Hoping it's going to be awesome, because it's going to be awesome. Canoeing down miles of canal, who would not want to be doing that? It's going to be great. And hopefully my fiancé will be there too as well. It's going to be so cool. Bye!